The next 15 diabetic-friendly minutes you hear on VOB this Saturday morning is brought to you with the compliments of the Barbados Diabetes Foundation.
I can't wait to hear what's happening in today's show.
In today's show, hear Nurse White.
High blood pressure or hypertension is known as a silent killer.
Hear about the dangers of high blood pressure. Hear GM Marsha White.
You are hungrier when you don't get enough sleep.
I did not know that.
And you will know even more when you hear what else Marsha has to say about sleep. And as it's Mental Health Month, you will hear directly from a patient on how she copes with losing a limb. All this and more coming up, all being sponsored by the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program, and the bank that makes sure you don't have no financial problems to stop you from sleeping at night, Republic Bank.
Dream a dream and watch it become a reality. You can do anything. Pull up a chair, come sit and come share with Republic Bank. You can do anything. Yes, we're the one for you, making dreams come true. We're the one for you, your partner for life. We're the one for you, Republic Bank.
If you are diabetic or pre-diabetic and you need diabetic services, but you need to make your dollar stretch no further than the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. For vascular, podiatry and diabetic eye screening services or consultations with diabetes doctors and nurses, call 417-0305 today. The Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren, St. Michael. They can save your life and save you money, but members get 10% off.
A good Saturday morning to everyone. How's everybody? Listening to VOB. This is Peter Boyce here to remind you about what you should already know, that if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, the place to be is the Maria Holder Diabetes Center for the Caribbean, opened in 2014.
It's been so long already.
They're located in Warren, St. Michael, right behind Eunice Gibson Polyclinic. The Diabetes Center is an institution dedicated exclusively, that means it's the only thing they do, dedicated to the management of diabetes in Barbados, where patients can be seen by a diabetes specialist, physicians like Dr. Diane Bradford, specialist nurses like Nurse Tracy and Nurse White, nutritionists like Victoria Cox, and the center also houses a foot care clinic, because you know foot care is very important to diabetics, and that is run with podiatrist Louise Robinson. They also have screening for diabetic retinopathy, and I don't need to tell you how important that is. That's being conducted by Dr. Charles Spears, because you know once you are diabetic, you need to get your eye screened for diabetic retinopathy every year. Another screening you might need to get is a vascular screening, but you might want to know,
how would I know if I need a vascular screening?
well, listen to this.
A brand new service which we can be proud of is now available at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Vascular or ABI screening. Who should get a vascular screening? Persons living with diabetes or persons who experience pain or burning sensation in their legs or toes, especially while they are resting. This is normally referred to as bad circulation. Book your vascular or ABI screening test today by calling the Maria Holder Diabetes Center 243-3937 to get more information and make an appointment. But members get 10% off.
Vascular screening, one of the many services you can find at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, your one-stop shop for all of your diabetic needs.
243-3937.
Peoples, you remember it was Hypertension Day last week, Saturday, but the way it is in Barbados, it should be Hypertension Day every day. So let's go to Nurse White for a quick word on hypertension.
Hello everyone, I'm Nurse White from the Maria Holder Diabetes Center for the Caribbean. High blood pressure or hypertension is known as a silent killer because you can have it and not have any symptoms, and it can lead to serious problems like stroke, heart attack, and kidney damage. This year's theme is measure your blood pressure accurately, control it, live longer. This simply means know your numbers and take action if they're high. You can check your blood pressure at home with a digital machine. It's very easy to use. When you check it, you will see two numbers. A normal reading is anything below 120 over 80. If it's 140 over 90 or higher, that means your pressure is too high and needs attention. You can take action to lower your blood pressure by eating less salt, moving your body more, and managing stress. It's also important that you take your meds if prescribed. We are here to help and help you stay on top of it. Let's take our hearts one healthy choice at a time.
People listening to VOB, I hope you hear Nurse White on how hypertension is known as the silent killer. This is what it sounds like. You hear that? It's that silent. So that's why you should hear Nurse White and try and purchase a device and check your pressure regularly. And of course, they can also do it for you when you visit the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, where you might be lucky enough to meet Marsha White.
Who is Marsha White?
You don't know who Marsha White is?
If I didn't know, then I ask you fool, but
Marsha is the general manager of the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, and we now go to her to focus on how lack of sleep can impact on a person, especially if you are diabetic.
Lack of sleep also disrupts your hunger hormones, which would only add to the crisis, in that you are hungrier when you don't get enough sleep, and your body doesn't know when it's full, so that could lead to overeating, too many calories, elevated blood glucose from your diet, and also of feeling out of control, brain fog, depression, anxiety. All of those things affect your motivation to even exercise or make good choices when it comes to food. So, it really is sort of a stacking on effect when you're dealing with stress, and stress often impacts your ability to sleep, right? Because it's hard to wind down, it's hard to relax. You wake up in the night worrying about things. It's really, really important to try to get a grip on that, and staying off of screens is a big thing before you go to bed. There's a lot of stuff that's under our control, but there's a lot of stuff that isn't, and we just have to find ways of coping with that.
Marsha, when I was young, I remember hearing about successful businessmen who only got by on 3 and 4 hours sleep per night, like it was something to emulate. So you're saying that that's not good?
Well, when you're young is one thing, but when you get older, the risk of having complications due to stress and lack of sleep are huge. I mean, how many of these successful business people do you hear have heart attacks? In their early 60s, they end up retiring and having heart attacks. So there are consequences. I think our bodies are a lot more resilient when we're younger, so we have to also think about age. Anyone who is over the age of 35, and even more critically, the older you get, over 40, women who are going through menopause in their late 40s, early 50s, a lot more stress on your body, a lot more mental issues like anxiety and depression. You hear about that as hormones change, and as we get older, we have different kinds of problems. Like a lot of people are still raising kids and have to deal with aging parents, cost of living. If you go through big life changes, which you usually do around your 40s and 50s, like getting divorced or career changes, things like that, can really have a huge impact on your health. And yeah, we do what we can. So obviously diet and exercise are cornerstone habits, but people have to realize that sleep and management of stress are really, really fundamental as well.
Well, Alfonso here. Thank you for that information, Marsha. That's right. I want you to know what Marsha said. When you see me sleeping, it's not because I'm lazy and I need to get up and go to do something in the house. It's because I'm managing my stress. So when I go and sleep, I gotta make sure I put up a no disturb sign as we go into our Saturday song of the day. This is Barris Hammond with no disturb sign. Compliments the Maria Holder Diabetes Center and Republic Bank. Don't disturb me.
There's one thing I can't stand, is leaving you so early in the morning. This 9 to 5 I have is surely getting to me.
The Maria Holder Diabetes Center.
For the third time this week, I think I'm gonna have to call in sick. If I leave you now, I'll be losing my mind. I hope we never get tired, and I never have to go to work. No one knocking on the door, disrespecting the no disturb sign. No baby crying, and no horn blowing, just the whisper of our voices. Oh. na-na-na, know you like it. I hope you never get tired, and I never let you go to work. No one knocking on the door. It's just passing, you know this curve.
The Maria Holder Diabetes Center.
Hi besties, my name is Roshana. I am a clinical assistant at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center for the Caribbean, and today we'll be chatting with Miss Padmore-Payne about mental health and diabetes. Okay, can you share what life is like before you have diabetes?
Well, life was okay for me before I had the diabetes, and I used to get around, and stuff, work, and stuff like that. But now since that diabetes, I have diabetes, it slowed me down a lot. Then by I have now the amputation, right, it slowed me down a lot, but
Okay, so other than that, what are some emotional or mental challenges you've had since you had your amputation?
Emotional challenges? I am really so much emotional because I already expected what I was going through, and I made the decision, so it wasn't all that challenging for me.
Okay, granted. How did you cope with the changes of your body and your lifestyle?
Well, I'm coping very well. Actually, I'm a strong person, and I'm building the courage to be strong always and trusting in God.
Amen. That's good to hear. What support system do you have? Like the family, healthcare, community?
My support system, what I have is my daughter. She takes good care of me, my kids, my 3 kids, and my family. They're back me to the end. They're there for me all the time.
Good. And what message would you give to someone living with diabetes who may be struggling mentally?
My message to all those who are struggling to keep the faith, trust in God, and He will keep the courage up. Don't break down, just keep the courage up. It's just process that we are going through, and it's something we have to live with. So just keep the courage up.
Because you believe you can still have a full life with amputation, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
In 2025, the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren St. Michael, with their diabetic eye screening, vascular screening, and podiatry services, offers a standard of diabetic services that equals or surpasses any you might receive internationally at a price that everyone can afford. So if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic and listening to VOB right now, call and make an appointment to get your eye screened for diabetic retinopathy by calling 243-3937. Or if you are having vascular or circulation issues or need to see a podiatrist or nutritionist, call 417-0305. The last 15 minutes you heard on VOB was brought to you with the compliments of the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program, Republic Bank, and the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Until next time,
reach for that extra glass of water. That is the smallest thing that you can do to make the biggest impact on your health.
Did you know nearly 1 in 5 adults in Barbados have diabetes? Did you know diabetes is one of the leading causes of vision loss in the world? Regular eye screening can save your eyes. Contact the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program today at 243-3937.
Dream a dream and watch it become a reality. You can do it.